We'll call the Judiciary Committee meeting of April 14th to order. Chairman Anderson is excused tonight. It looks like the rest of the committee is present. Okay, item number 1, Council Bill number 2021-02, ordinance number 2021-02, an ordinance amending Chapter 2.16 of the Butte-Silver Municipal Code entitled the Fire Department, specifically amending Sections 2.16.030, 2.16.060, 2.16.320, 2.16.321, 2.16.327, 2.16.360, 2.16.380, 2.16.390, 2.16.391, 2.16.420, and deleting sections 2.16.395 and providing for an effective date herein. County Attorney Joyce.
Okay, so I gave you each a red line and a clean copy of a couple additional changes. The first one is, it's all to section 2.16327, which is section 5 of the complete ordinance. But the changes are just on the first page, the language that's highlighted in yellow. That when requested to do so was taken out before, when it was, the chief executive that they were given the names to. It had that language when the chief executive wanted to request 3 names, then he could do that, but now they're changing it such that it's the examining board that gets the names, so they're not gonna, when requested to do so isn't necessary, because they're always gonna want the names so that they can do the interviews. So that's the first thing. And then on the second page, it used to say that, that they would only give the name of one, the top candidate, to the chief executive. And so Commissioner Callahan kind of had a question about that. And because the ordinance still says that the chief executive is the head of the fire department, the reason that is historically is because the director of fire services isn't elected. So the chief executive is the one that has to answer to the public, and for the law enforcement department, because the sheriff's elected, he gets to go ahead and not have to have the chief executive be involved in his selection process, because he has to answer to the voters. So this change is just, instead of sending just one name, that they would send 3 names.
So this would be after that internal chief's evaluation, chief's interview with those candidates. We just heard a little bit of disagreement with that, so we decided just to make it easy and change it to 3, because it really doesn't matter to us. I mean, we wanted just a stake in the game in the hiring process, and we got that, and we were happy with that. So 3 names or 1 name. We'll still send ranked names to the chief executive, the top 3 names ranked. So just so we're clear on that. We made those changes because we thought it might be better for you guys. We had some disagreement on it. Okay. Great. Yep.
Yes, Commissioner Makins.
So with that sort of the 3 names, does the chief executive then still have the ability to select any of those 3 names from?
It'll be a rank list like we've done in the past. Where it's
But if it's not, if that number 3 is ranked first, and number 1 is ranked second, and number 2 is ranked first, so they still select number 3?
Yeah, so if the example would be if we send in you're number 1, he's number 2, and I'm number 3, they still have the chance to choose. Historically, that hasn't happened.
Right.
Historically, it's the number 1 candidate.
Yeah. But he still does have that option.
He does have that
That's
opportunity.
what it says,
Just making sure.
No, appreciate it.
Clarifying.
of any of the 3 persons recommended. Anyway, so Brian could kind of tell you the timing of when Michelle said that Chairman Anderson wanted to hold it because he's not here, but I thought.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate not holding it. We've got upcoming 3 opportunities for probationary firefighters coming up. So our application period for probationary firefighters closes on April 30th. And we're trying to stay within that window for hiring so that we can use this process with this next group of hires is what we're trying to do.
So were you going off of last year's testing?
No, absolutely not. No. So a lot has changed. There's a lot going on. We've changed the Montana Firefighting Consortium, which Ms. Joyce actually made a lot of changes for us to indicate
Okay.
that within the ordinances that we're still the Montana Contesting Consortium, but we went with a private entity, PST. That was because all the Class 1 cities in Montana came together and we ran some cost figures on what we were spending to send guys over twice a year, motels, feeding people, running those exams. The equipment maintenance on that testing process became really expensive. Us in particular, we were good about sending a lot more people than most, and we were not just paying the consortium group fees, but we were also spending about $13,000 to send people over 2 times a year, once to Great Falls for the practice exam, because we had to do that, and once for the actual exam. So we decided to go with a private entity. It's really beneficial to us, and it's really beneficial to the candidates. All they need to do is get 2 tickets, the written test ticket and the CPAT ticket, and they can do the written test online in a secure location at home. And our candidate pools went up a lot with out-of-state candidates, because then they can go through the process more than once, and they can just check box. There's 300 or 400 fire departments on there, so they just go through checkbox in fire departments. So that was a decision made by the state fire chiefs, is who came up with that decision. So
And that's reflected in the...
it's reflected in here as
So with
contracted representative.
Go ahead,
So
Commissioner
was
Meekins.
that consortium that was the old list, with those candidates, I'm sure, asked if they had to do this new private entity test? Are they aware?
Everybody's aware. We've put it on social media. We've had it on our Facebook page. We've put it on Butte-Silver's website. I mean, everybody's aware of Montana. You can see the names filtering in.
Okay.
And the good thing is they can go get a CPAT. They can get in their car and drive to Spokane if they need the CPAT right away, or if they fail the CPAT. The old Montana Consortium, you had a 3-day window to take your written test and your physical. Now they've got a 1-year window to go anywhere and stay certified throughout every year. So it's beneficial for the candidates too.
Good.
Yeah, it's been a good change.
Yeah.
All of the cities in the consortium went to this format?
Yep.
Awesome. Perfect.
Yeah, the consortium is really no longer, except we still have a consortium to meet and make decisions
Yeah.
on this. It's all went to this PST testing. Yeah.
Very good. So yes, Chairman Anderson had asked to hold this. He didn't give me a reason why, but I am more interested in preserving the operations of the fire department.
Thank you.
And so I guess I would entertain a motion to move to final reading
As amended?
as amended.
As amended.
If somebody would, go ahead, I need someone to make the motion. Want to make the motion? So moved, okay. So Commissioner Fortune has made the motion to move Council Bill 2020-02, ordinance number 2021-02 to final reading as amended. Is there a second?
Second.
What's happening?
I believe next week when it goes to full council, Bill can bring up if there's something.
If you have some
We
questions.
don't know any questions that we can anticipate or anything like that? Okay.
You might reach out to him directly.
Sure, that'll be great. No problem.
I'm not aware of any.
The only other thing I wanted to give, and Steve just didn't sign it, he wrote the letter, but if you guys want to review that, just showing again, proving that the fire commission's on board with this whole process.
That
You
was
know,
going to be my question. So is
Yeah,
there,
here's the letter.
is there anything on the question for the Director of Fire Services? Okay. Yeah. Me either. If the fire department's on board, I'm on board.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Thank
all
you for
those
all your
in,
help.
all those in
Yeah.
favor?
Thank you.
Opposed? Okay.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the help.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Chief.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
I didn't know if I was gonna.
I'm glad he was here.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad you were here too. Thank you.
Thank you for looking into
Yeah.
that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a great move for them, I think.
Yeah.
Item number 2, Council Bill number 2021-03, ordinance number 2021-03. An ordinance amending section 17.060.030 of Butte-Silver Municipal Code, which section adopted the zoning map of Butte-Silver, State of Montana, providing for a change to the official zoning district map by rezoning approximately 18.5 acres from R1S, one family suburban residence, to C2 community commercial, commonly located east of Harrison Avenue and north of 5 Mile Road, located in the McQueenie subdivision, section 5, township 2, north range 7 west of the PMM of the city and county of Butte-Silver Bow, state of Montana, providing for the repeal of all parts of ordinances in conflict
Zoning.
herewith. and providing for an effective date herein. That is the longest sentence I've ever read, ever.
I'm sure there'll be more.
Oh, there's a whole bunch more.
So this is just, you already had a public hearing on this, what do you call it? Lord Casey prepared this ordinance, I think it's moving to final reading.
This
Yep.
is the one on the container storage.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this one, I would entertain a motion to move to final.
I'll make a motion to council bill number 321-0.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor to move Council Bill number 2021-03, ordinance number 2021-03 to second reading.
Is it second?
Final, sorry. That was the motion. That was my mistake. Move to final. Is there anything on the question? All those in favor? Okay. Thank you, Eileen.
I think that's
Yeah, that's the notes I
it. Okay.
have. It is. Okay. And then I'm not sure why these are numbered 1 and 2 again, but Council Bill number 2021-04, ordinance number 2021-04, an ordinance amending Title 15 of the Butte-Silver Municipal Code entitled Buildings and Construction, amending Chapter 15.05 entitled Adoption of International Energy Conservation Code, and providing for an effective date herein. County Attorney Joyce.
Okay, so this is just a requirement of the state to move from the 2012 version to the 2018 version, so that's the change in the ordinance, so that they're now using the 2018 International Energy Code. We had to update our ordinance just to reflect that it's no longer the 2012.
Right.
I think it's second.
Second, yep. So if there are no questions, I would entertain a motion to move this to second reading.
A motion to move it to the second reading.
Motion on the floor to move Council Bill number 2021-04, ordinance number 2021-04 to second reading. Is there anything on the question? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, resolution number 2021-12, a resolution accepting the transfer of a certain parcel of real property for the benefit of the public by contributing to the development of the Silverbow Creek Greenway to allow access features for passive recreation activities and preserving and protecting the remedial and restoration investments within the Greenway corridor and providing for an effective date herein. County Attorney Joyce.
So there was a communication by James Manning, who's the chair of the Greenway Service District, request, which the council already approved, to accept this property from the Ulands, and they were going to retain an easement for their cattle, but it's in order for them to, as it says, continue the activities of the Greenway Service District for recreational purposes.
Was there a swap? Is that how we did that, or was it just donate this piece?
Yeah, they just, in exchange for the an easement,
Oh, okay.
that they get to still have an easement for a cattle guard, I
Oh,
think.
to cross through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And I believe this one goes to final. Okay.
It's a resolution.
So I would entertain a motion to move this to final reading.
I will motion to move resolution number 2021-12 to final reading.
A motion and a second on the floor to move resolution number 2021-12 to final reading. Anything on the question? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Last item, resolution number 2021-13. A resolution declaring the intention of the Council of Commissioners of the City and County of Butte-Silver, Montana to extend special tourism business improvement district number 1 for the purpose of promoting tourism, conventions, trade shows, and travel to the city county of Butte-Silver, designating and describing the boundaries of said proposed special tourism business improvement district, providing for the publication and giving of notice of the passage and adoption of this resolution, and providing for an effective date herein. County Attorney Joyce.
So, this is just, you can tell, a resolution of intent So we have a current tourism business improvement district, and by state law, they can exist for 10 years. And it was first established in 2011, and so it is going to expire the end of June, I think.
June 30th, I think.
Yeah.
So there's a provision in the state law that you can extend it if you go through the same process that you did to create it in the first place. So this is the first step. Maria is here. She can explain that she has the same motels, I guess, that are interested in continuing to have this $1 per night.
Assessment.
Yeah.
That helps us.
Yeah.
It's.
So you have to have them, sign, at least 60% of the people that are going to be assessed sign a petition, which she had that accomplished.
I have an update. I have 87.62% of the footprint. 0.41 is the Miners Hotel, and that's unusual because Ted's on the board. I just don't think he saw my email. And then I just didn't get responses from jury properties, but I'm over the 60%, which is needed.
And so you're required to have a public hearing. And so right now, Maria has published, or has sent the standard and notice to have the public hearing on the 28th.
I think we have.
Yes,
we
it's
have
the
a
28th, it publishes this Sunday, next Sunday, and the hearing's the 28th.
So hang on, I can walk. And so we will hold this.
So we would like to hold it in the judiciary pending the public hearing. And then depending on whether you receive any written protests or anybody shows up at the public hearing to contest the continuation of this tourism business improvement district.
So it'll be posted on April 18th and the 25th.
And the hearing's the 28th.
Yeah.
So if you just hold it and then you can revisit it after the public hearing to see whether you want to move it. And then after they pass the resolution of intent, then you have to actually pass a resolution setting up the district.
And if we continue the timeline we got going, we'll meet the June 30th, so July 1 is.
Perfect.
Yeah,
We like it when that happens.
yeah, we did.
Yes, Commissioner
My
Conley.
question is, the people that didn't respond back, would they still be part of it?
Yes, they collect.
So everybody that would be in that district would be part of it?
So it extends all the way up to Fairmont. It includes the two hotels property. It includes all lodging properties. Is it 8 rooms or more? 6 rooms? 8 rooms. It's in there. 8 rooms. And so it includes the Miners Hotel with their 12 rooms, but does not include, for instance, bed and breakfast like and or the property mansion. Okay. Nor do we collect a $1 assessment on Airbnbs, but they do pay the bed tax.
It's very similar to like the Walkerville garbage. So once it's established,
Walkerville
everybody's in. You don't get to elect out.
Once they establish it, everybody.
Even if you didn't want to be in it, you're in it.
Well, that's why I asked, because I didn't know if somebody was a little sideways. Well, I'm not doing this now.
Someone's always sideways.
I think the boundaries and the list is attached to the resolution.
And it's the same.
Awesome.
So Ms. Washington, where's the $1 was in like that?
Okay, so,
This
this
doesn't.
I should come at some point and give a little overview.
Yeah.
So it can only be used for promotion. So we have $200,000 currently that is being held as a match for an MRG, which is a minimum revenue I feel bad I'm ignoring you, but I know you. It's a minimum revenue guarantee when we're able to get another airline into this market. We spend a lot of money for sporting events. So the Civic Center goes out to the Montana High School Association in April, and they are told to bid whatever they can get, primarily basketball tournaments, and that allows them to do a zero bid, which makes us competitive against other communities. We have assisted with sponsoring events at the Maroon Activity Center. We do a large leisure campaign every year, and that's just to get those individual travelers to come to this area. It's all promotion, so it can't be brick and mortar. It can't be, we're not buying anything, we're only promoting. Festivals, we've given a considerable amount of money to festivals over the years.
primarily the Montana Folk Festival. Last year, of course, with 2020, I know we're all tired of hearing about it, but we didn't have any festivals to promote. We'll be putting more money into a leisure campaign. A significant amount of my salary comes out of this because as much as I love tourism, I don't do it for free. Many of you have heard me say that a lot. We have, I've got it broken down in the, 9 years that we've been doing this. We put $144,000 towards special projects, which includes a campaign for people to fly in and out of the Butte Airport, along with the Tim Montana project. $258,000 was spent on, sporting events, the Butte Civic Center and the MAC. $143,000 for festivals, $387,000 for leisure campaigns, $169,000 encouraging meetings to come to Butte, $395,000, which sounds like a lot of money, and I didn't get all of it, but a significant amount of it over a number of years, mind you, went to administration, and then we have that $200,000 left in the airline revenue guarantee. So all the money it's all just spent on promotion.
So with that, unfortunately, with that promotional, will the hotels not be willing to do the $1 million?
Not at this time, I don't think so. I sent out a survey back. It had to have been pre-COVID. That just kind of sends us into orbit. But the question was, if I were, would you agree to extending the TBID another 10 years? I got a significant number of yeses, just doing a rough poll. What about increasing it? And I had a significant number of properties that were not for increasing the TBID at that time. We really felt as a board, or the board felt that if we tried to go for more money, that we wouldn't get the 60% of the footprint at this time.
So, can we see that? Actually see that if we deliver this to the Judiciary after the public hearing, can we see that statistic and that vote from the rest of the hotel owners to see if that's 60%? Because I know me personally, my wife loves to go to Fairmont, and I know when I break it down, we go there 2 or 3 times during this pandemic through the month. I don't question when my wife says she wants to go to Fairmont. I booked the hotel, it's not how much it is, and I know that's how all of it has been, and I know Fairmont now from Thursday through Sunday has been booked throughout this, and I know how they're recouping after now getting a membership. Fairmont just lets us know on Saturday. So now
For the value.
It's there, instead of saving it, I don't question that dollar. I know they're up to 15% in order through this, in order for them to recoup their expenses. So I don't think that I'm asking about that, and I don't think that we're asking about to promote our cities to fill those voices.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's just that our perception versus the hotelier's perception. My board is consisted of 7 members that are in the hotel industry. And my poll was very, it was a matter of, for instance, Ted Ackerman, I just used Ted, he's here. Hey Ted, what do you think? Ted was for it. John Keeler, who is with Keeler Properties and has hotels all over the western part of the United States, including cities in Montana that currently collect $2. He told me no. So I wonder sometimes if in some of these communities, they're wondering, maybe they're not as pleased with where that money's going. It's something that they would consider and that my board would consider, but I will go ahead and I will share with you what they have said in the past. You come to us with what you think this money ought to be spent on. I'm going to give you this example. The CVB, which is another organization that I work with, we were given $185,000 in August to promote Butte that had to be spent by December 30th. I had a hard time spending that. I mean, I felt I was just throwing money to spend it. I already, in addition to the TBID, which our collections run around $250,000 annually, we have about another $125,000 that comes in with bed tax dollars. So I'm not going to say that they are against it, but I can tell you it could be a hard push. and it's not something that I would consider until probably 2022.
And
So,
for
brief-
follow-up to that.
Briefly, because we've got a wrap, because we have
And
to
if we
get
hold this,
going.
that's fine, if we hold this for another
Okay.
2 weeks, I'm okay with that, and that's what I'm with you with right now. So, when I go, even if I'm leaving to one of these other places, when I call and I want to stay at a place, I call at a place. If it's $99, I'm not calling for a different place. And I think that we've all been in that situation. I don't see, if it's just for promotion, awesome, we're gonna use it to promote our city. So if we can't find somebody to spend the money to promote it, then we need to find apparently an assistant to promote it, because we need to start promoting it. So at this time, I think that we need to table this and wait for the
So that's not an option. The discussion of how much the TBID assessment is not part of this. This is simply to authorize the existence of the TBID for the next 10 years. It has nothing to do with what the rate is. Commissioner
I
Callahan.
think we can revisit this.
Yes.
Yeah, once we get them locked.
Yeah, they're
in,
two separate
We can
things.
revisit it a year.
One
back.
has nothing to do with the other.
And I would need to have sign off by all of the
Yeah.
hoteliers in order to do that.
Yeah, but yes, if you desire to revisit the assessment amount, that would be done separately
That will be the final resolution, right?
Right.
with the opportunity to revisit it periodically.
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, you are just holding it
Approving it to the.
to
public.
schedule a public
Yeah,
hearing
yeah,
to
yeah.
see if you really want to continue to have a TIBA exist right
But I
now.
think if we all, last statement about it, is that I think if we're really invested in where we're at right now, and for another dollar, I really don't think it's that huge of a deal to promote people. And for you to say that we're gonna have $257,000, we don't want to spend it, you know, I can give Mr. Fortune $257,000 in his company, and he's gonna spend it on himself to make sure that he's gonna promote and build more buildings, buy more lands, to develop more houses, so we can have housing. So I think we need to start rethinking outside the box of how we're going to spend the money to promote people's.
Okay.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks,
I
Maria.
think I have dinner.